Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome back to another episode of Your Views Podcast, episode 4 in season 2. And as you guys can see, we're back in the beautiful city of Grand Prairie because we're in the studio of M3M Studio. And we have a guest today. We're going to talk to Jada Kingdom. I'm sorry guys. We're going to talk to Jada Lee. Do you know who Jada Kingdom is?
No, I have no idea.
No idea?
No.
Okay. But before we get into who Jada Kingdom is, if you guys are new here, please take a second to hit that subscribe button, smash a like on this video, and drop a comment. Let me know where you guys are watching from. And of course, my lovely co-host,
Natasha.
is here as usual. How are you doing today, Nats?
I'm great. How are you?
It's so smoky outside today.
It is not looking so
I thought
good.
the smoke and all of that was behind us.
Same I thought.
Like, I guess we might not have gotten enough rain. What do you think, Jada?
I think we've gotten plenty of rain.
I think so too. So, which is why I was so surprised when I woke up this morning and I noticed that we were like engulfed with smoke. I'm like, what's going on?
I think it's just being part of the prairies. It's the prairie life. Yeah,
The
there's going to be
prairie
wildfires here and there.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, so Jada Kingdom is a very successful dancehall singer.
Oh.
Yeah, so she's a Jamaican singer. I probably wouldn't say Jamaica. She's from Jamaica, but she's more international now.
Yeah.
Shapes
Wow.
very nice. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, so that's Jada Kingdom.
I'm going to look her up after.
I know you should.
I love being compared to her, actually.
Yeah. Actually, it's not a bad comparison to be made, right? But your name is Jada Lee, right? So
Jada.
we're gonna talk to Jada Lee a bit to find out a number of stuff today. First things first, were you born in Grand Prairie?
I was born in Grand Prairie. Yes.
Whew.
Yeah.
You know you're one of the rare species of unicorns that's born and bred in Grand Prairie.
Yeah.
How does it feel?
I love it now.
No.
When I was growing up, I did not love it.
You did
Why?
not love
Why you
it?
didn't like it?
I am a rare species as I was born here and I live here now.
Yeah.
And then also I was rare in the way that I'm mixed.
Gotcha.
And so there wasn't a lot of other mixed kids. So it's very confusing.
So is your mom black? Is your dad black?
My mom is black, but my mom is also a mix. So her
Okay.
mom is from St. Kitts in the Caribbean.
Okay.
And then her dad's from Ghana.
Ghana.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
I absolutely love Ghana. But your dad is white?
My dad's white. He's Scottish and Irish.
Scottish and
Ghana and
Irish.
Irish.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
What do you identify as?
I know I'm a huge mix. Yeah, I identify as
I don't mean
mixed.
straight, gay, whatever. I don't mean that, right?
No, I wasn't going there. I identified as mixed, but I also identify as a black woman.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, alright, so let me ask you. Is there a specific reason why you identify as being black rather than being white?
Yeah. It's because I'm always told that I'm black when it's not that when I hang around with other black people or people that are darker than me, they don't tell me that I'm white, but it's known that I'm whitewashed.
Yeah?
But everybody else I hang out with see
With
me
me
as
as
black. And so my whole life I just identify with that. And then also the culture, the music, like everything else just resonates with
Yeah.
me.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
Now, you were born in Grand Prairie. Back then, you were born in a time when you said there wasn't much mixed persons.
Yeah.
So, you'll have to deal with a lot of what, like, was it discrimination? Was it just not being inclusive? Were you feeling like an outsider kind of thing?
I was feeling as an outsider. I personally didn't experience a lot of discrimination myself. However, I did see discrimination against my mother.
Oh.
And then also in school, there was a little bit of I think it was just ignorance. I don't think it was discrimination,
Yeah.
but it was just around my hair. If my hair it didn't look like the way it looks now because I know how to do it now.
Yeah.
But it was just a big afro triangle type of thing. And so when I let it out of its bun or the ponytail, I always had it in. There were kids that would comment on it and say, it's not crazy hair day. Why is your hair like that? Like, what happened to your hair? So that made me feel other. That made me feel different.
Yeah. So, it's more like a bit of ignorance as well, as you said. So, they're just not knowing that there's different races and of people.
Yeah.
I absolutely get it. Now, what keeps you in Grand Prairie is my question. What keeps you here?
I left for 7 years.
Okay, where did
Where
you
do you
move
go?
to?
Yeah.
I went to Calgary to play volleyball, and I played 1 year of university there.
Okay.
And then I finished my education and played at Edmonton. And I didn't want to come back, but I have 3 younger siblings, and because I was away for so long, they grew up into people I didn't know. So I thought
Yeah.
I would come back and I would spend time with them before I leave again. So the plan is to leave or maybe even stay. But like the plan was to come back for a little bit and then leave. I don't know. I might leave and then come back again. I don't know. I actually like it here now. So, which is a huge surprise to
Which
me.
are you surprised? So you're here now because of family. Obviously, that's what brought you back here, and you like it now because, of course, Grand Prairie has grown so much, and there's
Yes.
a lot more
Diversity.
Yes.
and I'd say knowledge. So there's less ignorance
Yes.
in the society. So I do get that. But having lived in Calgary a little bit,
Oh, yeah.
and then coming back to Grand Prairie, what are some of the things that you would say that are missing from Grand Prairie?
Compared to Calgary.
Yeah.
It's tough because Calgary is beautifully located, right next to the mountains. The river that runs through Calgary is like that ice blue river because it's coming from the mountains. Yeah, the glaciers. Another thing is that there's way more diversity there, and what they have is they have festivals that celebrate different people.
Ethnic groups and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I really like that. The stores, the shopping and everything. If I want to get my braids done, it's not just like there's 2 stores that could possibly have my hair color to get my extensions. Like it's like I can go anywhere. There's Caribbean food everywhere. It just makes it easier to get things. Whereas here, even today, I find it's difficult if I want to find specific hair products. If I want to get braiding hair, I know there's braiding hair here, but I don't know if there's enough. If there's the kind that I need,
is not as readily available as well.
Exactly.
It's limited.
Exactly.
Yes. That's that problem too. I remember you were trying to find the
Stocking cap just to make a wig.
Yeah.
I'm like, we're gonna be calling around stores. I'm like, oh, we don't sell stocking caps. So you don't. It's like that, and I'm like, oh my gosh.
It was almost like, why are you buying a stocking cap?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because you make wigs, you do stuff, you experiment. So that's the reason why. So I ended up going on Amazon, and you don't want that. You want to walk in and you want to, the shopping experience of buying your own things.
Exactly.
So, as a young person, Jada, of course, you are very social. You want to be social. You have a social life. You want to go out. You want to have fun, right? Would you say that there are things in Grand Prairie that is fun?
I
Fun is
would
relative
say,
by the way, but like in your own perspective.
yeah, so there is different things for different people. I'm not one to go to the club and I love to dance and I love music and I love to party, but I'm not one to go to the club. There are bars and clubs here that people, like my roommate, she's only a year younger than me and she goes out like every weekend to go out with her friends. So that is a thing. The college students here, they go out all the time to like the Den, the Crown, whatever it is. They used to go to Sharks when that was here. So there's the nightlife stuff. What I love about Grand Prairie is like I get to play beach every week, like beach volleyball. Okay. So we don't have a beach, right?
I'm like,
I'm
beach volleyball. I'm like,
where?
Yeah, I should probably specify what it is. It's like a court that's sand, like 4 courts, and there's volleyball nets set up, and it's open like throughout the whole day. Like anybody can go.
And where's that?
And play. It's in Bear Creek.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
I'd love to play some volleyball.
Well, maybe we'll go.
I'm not very good though. But
okay.
just for the fun of it.
Yeah,
we'll definitely go.
The closest we can say we've been to the beach.
Exactly.
Volleyball.
And it's nice. It's nice sand.
Yeah. So, like for me, you mentioned like places that people go to like party and have fun and stuff like that. Personally, I don't find that fun.
Yeah.
I like to go out and do those things, but it's just that I find that all the places that you've listed,
It's
they
the
offer
same thing.
Yeah.
There's not much difference in all of the places, right?
Yeah.
So that's one of the things that I always point out and stuff like that. But as somebody who is here, would you say that there's enough things to keep you here? Or do you say that, okay then, as a young person, you'd have to go out to explore to be able to live your full young life, if that makes sense?
Yeah, I think there is enough things. It depends on what you want, but there's fires. Like people have fires in their backyard or whatever. There's camping. There's lakes.
Yeah.
There's all those there's hiking options around here that are an hour to 2 hours away. And so that's really, really close. There's a lot of active activities. I think that's what would keep me here. People fish here. People hunt.
I actually went on my first fishing expedition.
No way.
The other day.
Was it last week? 2 weeks ago?
Week.
No, it was last week. It was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, the Sunday, yeah.
Yeah, it was 2 weeks ago. I actually went with Mariah. I didn't catch any fish.
Yeah.
And apparently we were told that even if we catch a fish, we wouldn't be able to eat the fish, and that didn't make any sense to me. But
Yeah, actually throwing out the net out there, the line out there and stuff. I'm like, yeah, this is actually cool. I like this.
Yeah.
This is actually
Are you
cool.
into fishing?
No,
Yeah.
I'm not a fish person. I'm not a hunter or a fisher. I would camp, like, and hike and all that stuff, but anything that has to do with things flopping around is not my thing.
I gotcha. Now, let's get a little bit personal.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yes, that's okay.
Let's talk about dating, right? Now, dating in Grand Prairie. Now, fortunately enough for me, or unfortunately, I don't know. When I came here, I was already married, so I don't know.
It's fortunate for you. Fortunate.
I don't know about the dating scene here. But what I've heard from a lot of persons, especially ladies, is that one, they're not really pursued by the men here. The men here doesn't seem to be very pursuable. And two, it's very hard if you're single to find someone. Is that your experience?
Yeah, so I have a boyfriend now, so that helps. But
Shut up.
yeah, shout out to my boyfriend. Yeah, I would say that's part of it. Part of it is hard because we don't have those specific activities that young people do.
Yeah.
That everybody does, you know. We don't have like functions to bring young people together that aren't just at the club.
And not just family, like not necessarily family events, but just like events that take young people out.
Yeah.
I totally understand, yeah.
I would say the two big events throughout the year is Stampede here, like the beer gardens that a lot of young people go out. And then it's TP Creek. A lot of people, young people go out, they camp out there, and then it's not, you don't have to drink, but you can have fun. But I would say that when I was dating here, when I was a little bit younger, it was hard to meet somebody, and it's hard to meet somebody specifically for me too, because I wanted to meet somebody that was open-minded, and I wanted to meet somebody that understood my perspective as a mixed woman who identifies as a Black woman. And so I found it really tough here. Actually, none of the people I've ever actually dated boyfriends are from Grand Prairie itself. Like they're from around Grand Prairie. My boyfriend now, he is from Grand Prairie, but we didn't meet here.
Okay.
We met when I was living in Calgary. He was
So you traveled and you had a bit more exposure and a bit more understanding of different cultures.
Yeah.
So that's good. But so how does somebody find somebody to date in Grand Prairie? Like, what's your tip? Give us your tip. This is Jayla's
give.
So if you're here, you're single, do this. If you're looking for somebody, do this.
I would say go out and do things. Like we have a farmer's market here. We have a street festival. We have Canada Day events. We have the Stampede. We have the TP
those
Creek.
things, though, let me jump in right here, Jayla. Because I find it hard to see somebody approaching somebody at
But how do you
at the
approach?
street festival.
But that's the next thing. How do you approach?
No, but okay, let me back up. I think that if you go out to these events, you give yourself more of a chance to meet anybody. And I know people here that have met people on dating apps.
Yeah.
They have had to like cycle through some people that they don't love, that they had terrible experiences with.
Yes.
Yeah, swipe.
Okay, that one.
But they end up meeting people a lot through that. But I just think that if you expose yourself to a lot of things and experiences, you might run into somebody, or you might meet somebody, maybe somebody from your past, maybe someone you've never met before. You might have similar interests.
Yeah.
And so it makes it easier to meet people if you're just, as opposed to being in your house all the time or like, not opening up.
Yeah.
So I would say that, but I do acknowledge that it is tough. And I would say if you want to see what's out there, download a dating app. See what's out there.
It is.
That's my tip.
Absolutely. So, what's your favorite food?
I love oxtail. Oxtail's my favorite food. Guess how long it's been since I've had it?
Okay, tell me.
Yeah.
Well, oxtail is expensive, but it shouldn't take you a year to have it again. Oxtail is I wouldn't say it's my favorite, but I do like oxtail.
Yeah.
Actually, every time I go to Edmonton, I get oxtail. So,
Yeah,
oxtail is pretty good. But have you tried much other Jamaican food or Ghanaian food actually?
I have. Yeah, I've tried. I couldn't even name all of them. But I've tried like the rice. I've tried like jollof. I've tried fufu.
Yeah.
And then a bunch of other stews and soups. My grandma used to make. She called them Johnny cakes.
Dumplings, yeah.
Dumplings, yeah.
We have that in Jamaica too. It's that
Yeah.
like when you fry the dumplings and you see, now I'm getting hungry. But anyways, continue.
I love Johnny cakes, and
Yeah.
I haven't had hers. Like she passed over a decade ago,
Yeah.
and hers were perfect, and I love them. I love plantains. She used to bring sugarcane home
Yeah.
when she visited, like all those things. Ginger beer.
Yeah. Oh.
Curry goat. I've had.
She's a Caribbean girl.
Yeah. She's a Caribbean girl for sure.
I've had snapper fish.
Yeah.
Yeah, all of those things.
And do you identify, or do you explore, not identify, but do you explore like your dad's culture as well, like Scottish, Irish, stuff like that, or is it just strictly ethnic?
I don't necessarily explore like the food side of it or
Mhm.
anything like that. The one thing that I am curious about my dad's culture is that he was a redhead and he had freckles. Like he was very, very Irish and Scottish.
Yeah.
And I guess I just always think about how their culture is like they're strong, they're like stubborn, hard headed, and like they like a good like whiskey or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So I haven't really had to explore that because it's just kind of always there.
Yeah.
You know, and he doesn't identify with necessarily Scottish culture.
Because it's not that far from just regular Canadian culture as well. So
Yeah.
it's just like everyday life as well. So
And he's probably like a 5th, 6th, 7th generation Canadian, so he's kind of distanced from it. Yeah.
Okay. If you should use one word, or let me ask you this another way. If I should ask your friends to describe you in one word, what would they say?
The life of the party.
Oh my goodness, thank you. Every single this happens once a week at least.
Yeah.
Happy. Like everybody's just like, you're just so happy. If I run into somebody like, hey, how are you doing? And they're like, good, how are you? I'm like, I'm happy. And they're
I'm
like,
happy.
yeah, you're just always happy.
happy.
And I'm just like, oh, okay. Like,
Okay.
that's not a terrible
Yeah.
thing.
So are you an extrovert or an introvert?
I'm both, I would say. I love people. I'm more extroverted.
Yeah.
I get energized by people. I love being around people.
Mhm.
But I think like everybody, I need personal space and I need silence and I need to not be around people. But I would be like party, like I'd just be out there and excited and talking to everybody. So yeah.
I think you're like me as well. Like I'm somewhat of an omnivert, but I'm mostly extroverted. But there are times when I just need like that time to just be by myself and just like I don't want to see anyone. Just like don't talk to me, right?
Literally,
I do get it. So
The opposite of yours.
yeah, she's an introvert.
Introvert.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be an extrovert, but it's not working out for me.
So Jada, what's your passion? Like everyone has that one thing that they are passionate about. What are you passionate about?
That's a really good question. I'm passionate about like bringing joy to the world. I just want people to feel good and I want them to be happy with themselves and I want people to be confident and anything that kind of is in the box of like someone like depression or having low self-esteem issues or anything like that breaks my heart and I just want everybody to be safe with who they are.
Yeah.
And I want them to have the courage to step out of their comfort zone and kind of live the life that they've always wanted. That is what drives me every single day. It's like I just want to make people better. So when I see somebody in the hallway and I ask how they're doing, like I'm very conscious of the energy that I'm giving and I'm putting off because I want it to uplift them and make them feel better from our interaction.
That's amazing, actually. I never thought of that. Like sometimes people ask, "How are you doing?" just as a rhetoric, "Hey, how are you doing?" But they're not really even listening to the response, let alone trying to send that energy. So I think that's personal. I think that's awesome. But let me ask you the question then. That's what's your passion?
I never thought about my passion before. I've never thought about it before. I'm still searching.
Still searching?
I'm still searching for that passion. But for now, my ultimate goal or my ultimate passion or my ultimate thing to do is to create a space where kids of special needs are able to strive to become or fulfill
their full potential. Yeah.
I think that is where I'm at now. I don't know if it's gonna change later.
Yeah.
But that is where I'm at now.
Beautiful.
Oh.
Like I have like tears swelling. Don't cry, Jada.
Jada Kingdom, don't you dare.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness gracious.
Yeah. What's my passion? Let me answer that question. My passion is really, I have so many passions, but my passion is really to make a difference in the world. By making a difference, it starts with me, of course. So to bring as much joy, as you said, and like to share as much knowledge, like whatever I have managed to attain, don't keep it to myself, but to share it with others so that they can also know that whatever that is as well. So if it's something that makes me get to a certain point, I'll share the formula to success. I don't want it to stay with me. So my passion is to make the world a better place.
Yeah.
Right? You know, save the world, save the children, heal the world.
You guys are so cool. That's what you're doing here.
Yeah. Singing is not my talent. By the way, singing is not my talent.
It's not mine either, it's okay.
So if somebody, so a lot of our audience are persons who are thinking of moving to Canada. And they are from different parts of the world. Now there's been a lot of I'd say videos going around about the state of Canada right now, right?
Yeah.
Now you're probably not gonna be able to identify specifically because you were born here. But why should somebody move to Canada?
I'm gonna respond based on what I saw through my grandparents.
Of course.
So my grandmother is from, like I said, St. Kitts, and I don't know much about her past, but I do know it was really tough, hard, whatever it is. Anyway, so I watched my grandparents kind of give up kind of their home to come here, and then they did struggle at that point in time because it was like the 1960s, and they met in Red Deer, and then they came here together. So they were probably one of the first Black families in Grand Prairie, and I just saw so much joy from them being here, just because they love the community, specifically in Grand Prairie, and they created it, and they were able to be innovators in it. So my grandfather, he had a Black church here, and he was the pastor of it. And then my grandmother ran an out-of-school program here, and that was her dream. Every single Canada Day, she went full out and enjoyed it, and was just so grateful that she could be here in Canada. And one thing that I love about Canada, and I'm loving even more, is that there is a lot more diversity, and there's a lot more acceptance. And I would say that despite any maybe rising political views or tensions or whatever it is, we're still quite tame, and we're still quite peaceful
about it.
And then also just the landscape blows my mind every single day. People, they think of the prairies as some like dead land that's just like boring. It is so beautiful here.
Facts.
It is so beautiful, and you know this, right? Now in the summer, you see like a field of gold, and then you see like green trees, and then you see like a beautiful blue sky, and there might be like cows grazing. It's literally
it's almost like a postcard.
Yes, it's peace.
Yeah.
Peace.
It's amazing. It is like a postcard, and that's something I forgot when I left the prairies. I went to Calgary, and obviously the mountains are beautiful and amazing and whatever, but it's so busy. There's so many people. There's so many tourists. You come here, and in the summer, like, you have little floaties floating through the air, like the pollen, and it's like, this is the most beautiful scenery I've ever seen. So in conclusion, I would say that there's a ton of opportunity. There's a lot more openness. People are a lot more willing to help, and they're a lot more willing to understand your story. And then also just the peace of it all and the beauty of it. Like, that's something that I love Alberta, and I want to like raise my family in Alberta. It's
the #1 province in Canada.
It's amazing.
We say that every time, but probably if it's coming from Jada Kingdom, you guys will definitely agree. Because I'm always saying that Alberta for me it's different. I think it's different than anywhere else I've ever been, in the sense that you can go to Edmonton and it's almost like you're in a totally different culture. You can come back to Grand Prairie, it's like you're in a totally different culture. You go to Calgary, and all of these are in the same province, but it depends. You can find whatever vibe you're looking for in the same province.
Absolutely.
So that's one of the things that always fascinates me and blows my mind. But you kind of alluded to it a bit, right? But I wanted you to speak a bit about Grand Prairie. Like, why should somebody move to Grand Prairie? In your, like I say, come to Canada, yes.
Yeah.
But why choose Grand Prairie over, say, Toronto or over Vancouver?
So I spent more time in Vancouver than Toronto, so I'll speak to that.
Okay.
It's so easy here. It feels easy to live here. After work, it takes me 10 minutes to get home, and it takes you 15 minutes to get anywhere in Grand Prairie, which I love.
I promise you I'm not putting words in your mouth. I speak about this like so many times, but like they probably think that you have a teleprompter behind. We do not. This is Jada's race. Okay.
It's so easy.
Yeah.
I think that the community of Grand Prairie, it's awesome because you'll go places and you'll start getting a groove and a habit, and you'll see the same people over and over again. So it's really, really easy to build a community, and people will start being like, oh, like, how are you? Like, what are you doing? They'll start inquiring about who you are. People are very nice here, and they're very welcoming. And we're pushing forward every single day in Grand Prairie to create more space and more opportunity for people that might be wanting to move here or immigrate. And then there's also a lot of different job opportunities here. There's a lot of ways to really help economically or financially through the future. So I personally think, and I know I grew up here, but I have seen other cities that are way bigger, and it's just sometimes it can be overwhelming, and sometimes it can feel like you don't matter in that city because there's so many people. But in this city, it takes every single person to create the community here and to make everything work. So then you have a little bit more importance, at least you feel it.
It's so funny that you're saying it, and it's like I am understanding everything that you're saying in terms of you feel a part of Grand Prairie. When you're here, you're integrated and you're like a part of the community. It's like you feel a part of.
Yeah.
You're
making the community. You're making that city. Like, people volunteer for almost everything here to give them time to make sure that everything is run smoothly. So
well, that's what makes a community. It's really the people. The people is what makes a community what it is. It's not the buildings. It's not the infrastructure. It's the people. And I think that there are definitely some good people here in Grand Prairie. I've met quite a few. And one thing I can say about all the persons who I've met, they love Grand Prairie.
Really? That's awesome.
They absolutely love Grand Prairie. Like, persons who I've spoken to, they love Grand Prairie. They'll be like, hey, listen, Grand Prairie is almost like heaven on earth, in the sense that the opportunities, the community, the sense of just helping each other. Like, even like if you're trying to grow a business, Grand Prairie is one of the best places to start a business.
Absolutely. Because
you will get support from the business community.
Yeah.
All they need to know is what do you provide and how can it help and benefit me, and then that's all, right? So I think to wrap up this segment of advertising Grand Prairie, I really think Grand Prairie is one of the best places to live if you're an immigrant, because it's very easy to integrate, find a job, everything is relatively close. So if you even don't have a car,
you can walk.
It's pretty close. You don't have to take 40 minutes, 45 minutes to get across. It's very easy. So why shouldn't you do it, right? But are you planning on moving back to Calgary?
No, I don't think I'd ever move back to Calgary. I lived there last year during Stampede. Or Stompede, they call it. No, Stampede. We call it Stompede.
Yeah.
Stampede. And literally probably 3 million people visited during a span of 11 days. And I lived right across from the park. So it was just like, I was over it. I was over people at that time. But I don't think I'd move back to Calgary, but I do plan on going to law school, and there's no law school here in Grand Prairie. So I would go away wherever I get in.
What type of law?
I'm not sure. I think I do litigation.
Okay.
And I might do more like a civil human rights type of thing, or maybe international law. But I might come back here and I might want to do law here. I do love the idea of like a nice house on an acreage and like just the peace of everything.
She's a true Grand Prairie born
I
and
am,
bred.
and I tried to reject it for so long.
No, you have to accept it.
Yeah.
Do you like camping?
Own it.
No.
I love camping. I love it.
Are you an RV camper or are you a bush in tent outside shower kind of camping?
I would do both, but the bush one would have to be a short amount of time, like 4 days, maybe max, maybe a week.
That's a long time.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Not even a day. I won't. No.
Have you been?
No.
You've ever been camping
No.
here? Oh my goodness, you guys are missing out.
The thing is,
You're like, no, I don't think so.
so this is what I ought to say. Like, we are from Jamaica.
Yeah.
And when we are in Jamaica, we're watching movies and we see all these people in North America, i.e. Canada, and the US, going camping. Like, have you watched the movie Wrong Turn before?
No.
Oh.
And we're like seeing these people going in the bushes and they're going off roads and like wilderness. I'm like, where are you going? And then when they get there, it's always like some bears, some animals, some creepy stuff. So we're always like, with that's not our stuff.
Yeah.
But then we get to northern Alberta, not western Alberta, and we're like, you don't knock it till you try.
Yeah.
We're
Right.
going fishing. We're like, oh, we're not going fishing. Oh. We went the other day and we're like, oh, this is
Yeah.
cool.
Like even the Grand Prairie Stampede.
Stampede was the first
Like,
time we were going.
like we've been here for years, and that's the first time we're going because we're like, I don't think we like rodeo. I like rodeo is not our thing. But then we got there, we're like,
Alright, this is
why
not
didn't
too
you
bad.
come here again?
It's so fun.
Is this I'm coming back next
Yeah.
year.
It's like
Yes.
so fun. It's like so fun.
It is.
So camping is one of those things that I feel like we need to
We
try.
need to try.
Yeah.
But we want to try with someone who's experienced.
Yeah, and
So-
who has an RV probably.
Yes. That part.
Probably not.
Yes.
I'll probably do.
I'm going out.
I'm not sleeping.
No.
I'm not gonna knock it till I try it. But
No. So
it has to be
wild
someone
animals?
experienced.
No.
No. But you got your beer spray, I
I
assume.
have-
Yeah, I have beer spray. Can I tell you a story quick?
Yeah, of course, absolutely.
Okay, so my family, we've done a lot of camping, but not because of my mom, because of my dad. My mom hates camping. She hates bugs. She hates everything. So we would always have we have an RV or whatever. We'd stay with friends who had RVs, whatever. So we didn't have to sleep outside. So I lived in Lake Louise, which is like in Banff National Park, for about 4 or 5 months. And so I tried backcountry camping, but that was the first time. I was probably 21 or 22 at the time.
I'm sorry, Jada. Like, I'm not gonna let that pass me without asking. How many places did you live?
I've lived all over Alberta. I've been everywhere in Alberta because of volleyball,
Okay.
and I've also been all over Canada because of volleyball.
Okay.
So I've lived everywhere. But
Okay.
yeah.
Anyway, back to your story. I just wanted to know. Yeah. So you were living in Lake Louise.
Yeah, there's lots of bears there. But you're fine. You're safe. There's people there to take care of the bears.
Yeah.
Anywho, so we go backcountry camping, which is what you saw in those movies, in the bush. There's nothing around, no civilization, nothing. So you pack in your tent, your food for the weekend, everything. And it is tough. It's not easy. But when you get there to the point that you're wanting to get, we probably walked 2 hours maybe up a mountain, and we got in there and there's this steep valley with a lake in the middle, and you see all of these peaks around you, and there's no noise. It's peace and quiet. All you hear is the wind. We set up our tents. There was no bears around. We did have precautionary things like a bear can, bear spray, all that stuff. But it was probably the most amazing experience I've ever had because of the peace I felt, because I'm just there. There's nobody else. There's no cars. There's no noise. It's just me connected with nature. And that's one other thing that I love about Alberta in general, but also Grand Prairie. Calgary is beautiful. It's close to mountains, like I said earlier, and it's just a beautiful city, but it's so busy. It's hard to connect with nature. And even when you do, if you're not backcountry camping, there's tourists around and it's busy. But Grand Prairie, it's almost, I feel like the forest or nature is my backyard. And so I do encourage camping with somebody that knows how to camp.
Yeah.
Because when you wake up in the morning and like the birds are singing and the sun is rising, you're just like, this is literally the best thing ever. I love my life.
I actually think we should do it. I think we're gonna get there. Like, I was speaking to Mayor Jackie Clayton as well, and she's like, next winter I'm taking you skiing.
Yes.
I'm like, no.
Awesome. Just go for the ski lodge part.
Yeah. We probably need to be a little bit more outside of our comfort zone. It's like, this is what we know, and this is what we're gonna do. It's gotten me this far. I'm gonna keep doing it, right? There's no need for me to start trying all these new things.
Yeah.
But I think we should actually start getting into some of those stuff. Camping is something that's on my list of things to do. A buddy of mine invited me a couple of years ago, but then he quit this job, and then I lost touch with him and all of those things. So that's something that's didn't happen.
Yeah.
Right? But I'll definitely hook you up if we want to go camping. What do you say, Nats?
Yeah.
I don't have an RV, so we'd have to do tent.
No.
Depends on where.
RV,
Yeah.
then I'll venture out into
Saskatoon Lake has like spots, and there's rarely any wildlife there because it's so busy.
Yeah.
And it's pretty safe to tent. I know you don't want to, but if you have to.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. It's pretty close to.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll work on her. I'll work on her definitely. So, what are some of the things that you like? Let me ask this in a way that is probably correct, right? So, Grand Prairie is growing. Grand Prairie is evolving. What are some of the things that you hope to see over the next 5 years in Grand Prairie?
I hope to see more diversity when it comes to shopping. We were talking about earlier. Hair stuff. We do have hair stores, like I said, but I don't know where to find them. Where are they? Are they on a website? I have no idea. Black-owned businesses, we have them, but I want to see more of them, and I want to see more diversity in them, or just not just Black, but every race. Like, I just want to see more of that. I would like to see more families and kids here, and I want to see more festivals like Calgary and Edmonton have. I just want to see more celebration in diversity. We have a very strong culture here, and I'm sure you guys have seen it, and you know, it's that very much like farmer or oil field workers who are rough and tough. And,
Redneck.
Yeah, redneck hunting, all that stuff. So I would just love to see that, but then also the array of other people who live here.
You want to see everybody.
I want to see everyone, and I want everybody to feel like there's a space where they feel included. I think we're pretty good on the food, but I think we can use more Caribbean restaurants or anything like that. But for me, I'm a shopper. I love shopping. And so like, I want to go to a store, I can walk in and there's a bunch of bonnets there that I can pick from, you know, oil for my hair specifically. And
you don't want to be restricted to just that one spot. Okay, this is the one store that sells these things, so you have to just go there because that's the one store. Yeah. You want options as well. Yeah, right? Exactly. Absolutely. Do you think there's anything that the city itself can do to foster these growths over time, just from your own, of course, low level perspective? Yeah. What I love that the city did this year is that Black History Month celebration and the gala. I felt like that was a really beautiful way to celebrate diversity, and for people like me who have not been in the community for a long time to come in and see how much it's grown, that made me feel connected, and I made connections with people. Like I made connections with you. Yeah. So if we could have more of things, events, something that really showcased the group of people that are diverse, or show whatever it is, I think that's something that we can work towards. We have several different months for several different heritages or races, whatever. If we can do something like that every time, that would be super. I think that would be huge. And I agree, and that's one of the things that I'm always saying as well and lobbying for almost is every year it's the same calendar of events, which is good, which is okay, but it doesn't show the growth in diversity. Like, I want there to be such an event, and they're gonna say, the average Grand Prairie person is gonna say, oh, there is a night market. But not the night market. You want an event that showcases culture. Yeah. So you can see different food offerings, you can see different entertainment, you can see like a wide scale, that like a festival kind of thing, and then it's like it's just focused on cultural, sharing of different cultures and exchange and stuff like that. That's something that I really hope to see in Grand Prairie very soon as a calendar of events. So different groups, different ethnic groups would come together and like participate. And like you have Caribana, you have Carri West, you have Carri Fest. These are things that I hope one day we'll see in Grand Prairie, right? Will we see it? Probably not.
No. I didn't know that was a thing until one year I was in Edmonton during that time, and I was like, oh, what is this?
What is it? But it's so fun though, right?
Yeah, it's so fun. I'm going this year to Toronto for Caribana. Yeah.
Exactly. So, with the growth of Grand Prairie, those are some of the things that shows growth.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
So those are the things that I hope to see as well.
And I will say too, my boyfriend is white and he grew up in Grand Prairie, and he's openly admitted that in his schools he didn't have a lot of diversity. And he went with me to that gala. And after that, like, it just opened up his mind. He was like, oh my gosh, like, your culture is so beautiful and amazing. And it made him start thinking, like, there's a lack of culture here, like in some cases. Like,
absolutely.
He complains about the whole bonnet situation. I can't just walk into a store and buy a bonnet. He's like, why isn't that a thing? I don't understand. But it really opened up his mind. So people that live here, born and raised here, and not only showcases how much diversity, but it helps them fall in love with different things.
Exactly. And also become more inclusive. When you're more inclusive when you understand. Right? So it's a sharing of knowledge as well. And I said this on an episode of our podcast as well. There's a lot of things for some persons to do, and there's nothing for some persons to do.
Right.
So you have this section of the population that has, oh my God, there's so much things to do in Grand Prairie, it's so fun. And then you have this other set of persons who are here like feeling like an outsider because there's nothing much to do here. And unless you understand that, then you're not gonna get it.
Absolutely.
You're not gonna get it, right? Because like, you know what you know.
That's a brilliant way to put it, actually. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I'm thinking now too, like, I grew up here and I'm like saying, yeah, these are all the activities you can do, but somebody who might be immigrating to Canada, they're like, I don't do that. Like, what do you mean? So that's absolutely true. You're so right. Like, people, especially who grew up here, were like, yeah, we do all these things. We're outside, we're doing activities.
Oh, it's so, what do you mean? What do you mean when there's nothing to do here?
Yeah. But then, like, yeah, people who maybe don't participate in those activities all the time, they're like, well, I don't know.
Like, for example, every year it's the same thing. Okay, then, winter. Okay, we're going to go skiing. We're going to go ice fishing. We're going to go this.
Yeah.
Okay. Summer we're gonna go camping, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. Whatever we do in the fall, we're gonna do some bonfire, we're gonna do some fire pits in the backyard, whatever the case may be. It's the same thing every year.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. So you grow up on that. It becomes a part of you. But if someone who moves there, they're not into hiking. They're not into backyard fire pit, because in Jamaica we didn't have a backyard with fire pit. Right? Yeah. Stuff like that. We didn't grow up like that. So when you get here, you're looking for things that you can identify with.
Right.
And it's those small things that you can identify with keeps you in a community. Because ultimately people are just looking for somewhere to feel like home. So a lot of persons come to Grand Prairie and they leave because they don't find that.
Right.
And then when you couple that with, okay, then there's not enough culture here, and then, okay, there's not an international airport, there's so many different things. So people be like, yeah, there's not air store, you can't get your hair done, you can't get your food. All of these things, people be like, yeah, I'm better off in Calgary.
Yeah, right.
I'm better off in Edmonton.
Right.
And those are things that I think stifles the community a bit, but with a little bit more open-mindedness, like platforms like these, like hopefully gets to the right ears and somebody come to us and say, hey, you know what, we got some investment for you guys. And we're like, we'll take it. And we'll grow Grand Prairie for it. Int. I'm not joking. But yeah, platforms like these definitely do that.
Yeah.
Right?
I agree.
Nice. Any last words before we go?
Come to Grand Prairie. That's my last word.
That's your last words?
Yes. Come to Grand Prairie. And
so, my last word is going to be, if you haven't subscribed already, please take a second to hit that subscribe button. Smash a like on this video, drop a comment. If you guys want to connect with us, you can book a time in our calendar. Link is in the video description. Jade, I want to thank you so much for chatting with us over this past 1 hour. I always give my guests the last word. So you're talking to all my audience right now. Okay. So you can share either whatever is on your heart. It can be a motivation. It can be something about. It can be about anything. Right? Okay. So the floor is yours.
Okay. Well, I don't really know what's on my heart right now, but I will say if you are interested in moving to Grand Prairie or moving to Canada, and you're willing to take those steps, I would say take the risk and try, because even though we've expressed the strengths and the weaknesses, and sometimes the weaknesses, they stick out a lot more than the strengths. What I love right now is that we have community that are willing to help people that are new, like you two. You guys are here, right? So there are connections that will connect you to other people and to other things, and we will grow. And when we do grow, it's going to create a lot more opportunity for people who are moving here. So I would say if you're thinking about it, I think try and just come see it. Like, just come see and experience how beautiful it really is here. And that's all I have to say.
Fantastic.
Follow her on TikTok at Leah.
Oh, Jada Lee.
Yeah.
Jada. Oh, no, wait. Okay, 1 second. Oh, JLEA __ on TikTok and on Instagram.
And your Facebook is not too bad either. Like, you do a lot of get ready with me and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's connected to my Instagram. That's why. you can friend me on Facebook too, but I mostly post on Instagram.
Gotcha. Okay, guys. Until next time. See you guys in the next video. Peace out.